that's a very nice audio showcase. Hi guys, this is Vijay from HardwareZone, and what you just heard was a Dolby Atmos trailer clip played on Creative's latest soundbar system. This is the SXFI Carrier. What's really special about this is the world's first Dolby Atmos speaker system. Now there are many other speaker systems and soundbars that are Dolby Atmos capable, but none of them are engineered together in collaboration with the Dolby engineers themselves. So this is the first of them. What Creative wanted to do with this speaker system was capture the essence of their super expensive and super premium Sonic Carrier soundbar system, and that is a $8,000 speaker system, which is really long, really bulky. You know, a lot of people in Singapore can't stomach that price nor the size. So Creative wanted to engineer a soundbar speaker system that is Dolby Atmos capable with a manageable size that you can put on any HDB house. And this is it. This is a SXFI Carrier. Let's take a look at what's inside this audio system. It has 7 speaker units. The 2 speakers here are 3.5-inch mid-range drivers. They drive most of the mid-range spectrum audio, as well as tackle the height audio that is in the Dolby Atmos sound streams. So that's why it's angled upwards, and that helps out over there for the projection requirements. Next up, we have 2 2x4-inch raised strike drivers at the sides over here. So these handle the surround audio needs, as well as extreme left, extreme right audio projection. Next, we have 3 tweeters here, 3/4-inch dome tweeter drivers here. This, of course, handles all of the audio dialogue needs and your high frequencies. And this is probably the star of the whole speaker system, because when I tested this, it has pretty good clarity. You never miss a beat in terms of what people are talking about, because I find many sound systems, they kind of focus on the background audio, soundtrack, sound effects, and you sometimes miss out on the finer details of what's the guy saying on the screen. Maybe I should rewind again to catch it. No such thing with the SXFI Carrier. It is really strong vocal system over here. You will never miss out on anything. And this is accompanied by a huge subwoofer, 10-inch wireless subwoofer. So the good thing, of course, since it's wireless, you can place it anywhere else which has a power point to supply power to the wireless subwoofer. But the good thing is, Creative decided to go a little bit bigger, pack in a 10-inch driver so that it can tackle the nice deep bass notes. And I mean, this is more in terms of the thumping bass kind, not in terms of the douche kind of audio. So it is really like audiophile kind of quality. What I just showed you just now was just a Dolby Atmos trailer clip, but what you want to know is how does it perform on actual shows and movies. Let's get to that. So just before we start with movie clips, let me play back the Dolby Atmos trailer once more. It truly exemplifies what the SXFI Carrier can really accomplish. So over here, I can really feel the 360 surround sound actually happening. It's wonderful. And the chirping that happened before that, insects chirping, it's really out of the scene. That thunder's powerful. And so is the low extension, right? You don't really hear it, you can feel the rumble. So that's a mark of a good subwoofer, and it does its job here. Next up, Captain Marvel 4K Ultra HD Dolby Atmos. Excellent show. Lots of explosions, but the bass is very controlled, yet you get the feel, right? And the soundscape is great. It's all around me. The only thing missing is probably because it doesn't really have real wireless speakers, so I can't get sound effects like the debris flying behind me. That I can't perceive. But Everything else is happening here in front of me, probably to the side a little bit. So far so good. This is the audio clip. Let's try 747 taking off. That was fantastic. So it really felt as though the 747 jumbo jet was coming at me from far away, and it was taking off up and above over here. Yeah, so that's great. Okay, so over here I have a Star Wars Battlefront game clip recorded through a PC, recorded in Atmos audio. This should be good to test out the positional audio. Really great positional audio. When the AT-AT came, fired its guns, the rumble was awesome. So there was a lot of moving elements, lots of dynamic things at play. You can really sense and feel around it. And again, it really feels out of the screen, and none of it feels like it came from the soundbar right in front of me. Nope, all of it was all around me. Let me go on further and let's see what else we can find out. When X-Wing and TIE Fighter came by, you really felt they went out of the screen. One of the AT-ST walkers actually was behind me, and I could actually sense it. It felt like it was over here, right over here. Right? So Dolby Atmos content works, and the greatest SXFI Carrier can deliver. Now the question is, can you get enough Atmos content to make good use of this? So we try a lot of Atmos material. What if, say, suppose we have Dolby content, but it's not Atmos? So I have with me here a Superman Returns Blu-ray disc, but it is a Dolby TrueHD disc, not Atmos. Let's take a quick peek at what it feels like without Atmos. It's fine and enjoyable, but I wouldn't say it's, I wouldn't say it's a moving performance. A lot of it just happens to be elements that you find and see and feel within the screen. It doesn't pop out like it did for Atmos content, where it really felt it was beyond the screen, out, height, side. You don't really get that. So the kind of material you have to play with really counts for what the performance you can achieve. Now, what if, say, suppose you don't even have Dolby content? I have with me a few of my favorite shows on Blu-ray, but they're on DTS. Now, this is a Dolby certified soundbar. That means automatically there is no DTS decoder built in. What happens then? What I've tried is it falls back to PCM audio. Does it still serve the kick that you require? Alright, so I located the scene that I wanted to play. One of my favorite titles, Battleship. Here we go.
We're gonna die. We are gonna die. We're gonna die.
So basically what I feel right now is that it is pretty much what the soundbar says. It indicates to me it's using PCM audio, so it's kind of like a bit of a stereo-ish kind of feel, and the audio pretty much is coming right pretty much in the center, not much wider than the soundbar itself. Vocalization is a bit soft. You could improve the soundscape and everything else by switching on super wide. It basically enhances stereo to make it feel wider. So I just engaged super wide mode about 10 seconds back. So it just widens the sound field, pumps up the pace, if you might say so, for enhancing movies and soundtracks which are decoded this way. So it's just an option, but at the end of the day, not quite like true object-oriented Dolby Atmos content. So I fired up Netflix, loaded up Mission Impossible Rogue Nation. It's a few years old, but it gives you an idea of how does it handle older content on a video streaming service. I've tried a few modes, and I think movie mode gives the best enjoyability with this track. So the opera scene was quite enjoyable, quite believable. Audio is very enjoyable, but it's not one of those which is Dolby encoded, so you don't get a full bang, but it was pretty much an enjoyable scene. Let's take a look at something else. So next up, I have picked up Disney Plus Mandalorian. This is one of the titles that has Dolby Atmos audio content. So let's take a peek at how it plays. So this is quite impressive. I can really feel blaster bolts whizzing past me across both ways, and it ends up somewhere at the back here. So that's quite cool.
Means more to me than you will ever know.
Quill, are you there? Come in, Quill. Quill, come in. Quill, are you there? Do you copy?
What can I say? Amazing soundstage and presence, and all this from a video streaming service. So it really, the kind of content that you play really makes or breaks your sound field experience. So we have just experienced what it's like to play actual movie and shows that you would see and use day to day, either from a Blu-ray player or the content streaming services that we always use these days. And it's quite a formidable audio system, right? Overall speaking. Now, that's in daytime. Nighttime, you want some peace and quiet. You don't want to disturb your partner or your family members. So, of course, that's why Creative has given you a 3.5mm audio jack in to plug in your wired headphones. This is also where Creative's engineering comes into play here. Creative has this super XFi audio headphone holography capability, right? You see them selling the separate dongles and headpieces that has this audio technology built in. Now, you get that built inside this soundbar system. So that makes it the world's first super XFi capable speaker system. So for those of you who have never tried or experienced what Super XFi is all about, this technology takes in how you would feel and hear audio through speakers onto your headphones. So normally on headphones, the audio seems a bit more direct and probably blasting at you of sorts, but Super XFi makes it sound and makes it feel as though you're hearing from actual speakers around you. It's actually so good such that sometimes you might think that using the headphones with Super XFi is probably even better than sitting in front of a speaker system itself. So that itself is a very big plus point when you're watching certain content, like say your TV shows or action movies, and those perform really well. Not to mention for gaming as well. You can hear footsteps behind you, side of you, everywhere. You can really experience the whole headphone holography audio within you. That's what you get special out of this soundbar that nobody else has. How can you use it? Just plug in any wire headphones and you'll be able to use it with the speaker system through the 3.5mm jack. What if, say, suppose you wanted a wireless headphones? Well, you can't exactly pair existing headphones for that purpose because there's latency issues involved from just a normal Bluetooth audio. That's where Creative sells these special headsets called the SXFI Theater. This runs on very low latency wireless connection. So there is a special port at the back of this SXFI Carrier that allows you to plug in a special USB receiver that comes with the SXFI Theater headphones. This ensures you have no connectivity issues, no latency issues whatsoever, and it's better than Bluetooth. So that's why you can't use your normal Bluetooth headphones and pair with this for the purpose of Super XFi audio. So there you have it. In terms of wireless SXFI audio connectivity needs, you use a SXFI Theater. And if you have a pretty good wired headset of your own, just make sure you get a long audio cable extension, plug it in here to your headset, and you can enjoy SXFI audio on any wired headset that you have. Of course, don't expect to plug in a $50 headset and expect to perform wonders. So the better the grid of your headset, the better your audio experience you get as well. So I have tried it out some with the SXFI Carrier along with a wired headset. I played back Mandalorian episodes, which I'm watching right now. It gives you that air, the expansive audio effect, such that you really feel like you're watching it in a theater, not in your home. So that is transporting you to a new journey, a new experience, and that's what Super XFi can do with the right materials that you can play with. So up here on the side, that's where you find a segment LED that will indicate to you what mode it's on. You have neutral, of course, super wide that expands upon stereo audio, PCM audio. Then you have music and movie modes. Not to forget, there's also night mode. Night mode is very useful because it really suppresses all the deep rumble, deep bass, loud explosions. It suppresses them enough such that you can still enjoy them in the night without disturbing the neighbor or disturbing folks sleeping in their bedroom. What about in terms of ports and connectivity? So what you'll find is two HDMI 2.1 ports. So that will handle your 8K resolution and anything else that you can throw at it. HDMI 2.1 ports will handle it. You have a HDMI out EARC port, so that will handle all your lossless audio transmission needs. You have USB audio input here, so this is great if you want to hook up with, say, gaming consoles, your latest PlayStation 5, if you can find one. If not, you can buy Xbox Series X. Okay. Onto the side, the recess over here, you'll have a SXFI out option as well. Okay, so this is where you plug in the SXFI Theater speakers USB audio receiver for wireless low latency transmission. Besides that, you'll find your SPDF input, which is your optical. Then you'll find auxiliary input, which is a 3.5mm audio jack, as well as a sub out jack. This is its accompanying wireless subwoofer with a huge 10-inch driver this side. Output flat port also over here. Okay, 45 cm high, 43 cm deep, about 12.5 kg in weight. This is something that you need to really find a space, but I'm sure you can because it's all black. You can easily stash it away in a corner. Besides the physical ports, it's also Bluetooth 5.0 capable soundbar. Pair it up on the phone, a button press on the SXFI Carrier, that's it. What about actual usage, control and everything else? Two modes. One is the remote control or through the app. But you will need to use the app anyway to do the initialization and setup process. All you have to do when you first come up into the app is to find your device over here as such. Once that's done, you'll recognize the SXFI Carrier, you'll pair with it immediately. Select the carrier, and this is basically your control panel for your SXFI Carrier. First up over here, you'll find all the ports that we have just run through that you can find on the SXFI Carrier. HDMI, USB, optical, auxiliary, and Bluetooth. Okay, and your option whether to auto switch to TV HDMI using HDMI CEC control. You have a selection of whether you want it to output on the speaker or to the headphones in case you have both of them connected. The sound mode. So this is pretty much based on the kind of material they listen. So those are the crucial sound modes that you want to get access to. It's actually easier to use it on the app than cycling through the remote because it's a little bit fiddly on the remote. Super SXFI option, that's only available if you have plugged in your headsets, be it the SXFI Theater or your wired 3.5mm audio based headsets. Now, one of the most important steps is calibration. That's one of the first steps you want to do when you first power on your SXFI Carrier and have it paired. So the first one is distance measurements, which helps it understand what are your room sizing like, where is your couch and seating area opposed to where the SXFI Carrier is positioned, and as well as how far away the subwoofer is positioned. So Creative says that it uses all of these numbers and parameters to figure out how best to optimize the projection of the sound in your room that you're playing the SXFI Carrier. So there you have it. You have distance measurements to calibrate for soundbar, subwoofer, and of course even ceiling height. And everything is shown here in the diagram here what it does. Volume control, that's over here. That's toggle over here, so you can level down, level up accordingly. It's just a slider. If you go to the settings over here, you will be able to check the status of a SXFI Carrier in terms of whether subwoofer is wirelessly connected or not. Important to know. Standby time, and over here display brightness. So the small LED segment display, you can control whether you want it to have a bright output, dim, or even switch it off completely. Firmware, so you can wirelessly update your firmware for your SXFI Carrier through here. And that rounds up about all the setup needs that you have to take care of and what the SXFI Carrier's app can do for you. Straightforward, easy setup and go. Alright, so we've seen what the SXFI Carrier is all about, what it can do. Now the biggest question is, should you get one? And where is it positioned? It's priced at $1,499. Not exactly cheap, but it's also not overly expensive. For its power class capability, it is actually the cheaper one in the market. Other options in the market could drive up to 2K or more. So the question you might have is like, what do they offer that the SXFI Carrier doesn't and it charges more? What they have is rear wireless speakers to give you better positional audio, more accurate positional audio, and other frills like Wi-Fi support instead of just only Bluetooth that the SXFI Carrier has. So that would mean multi-room audio support and going beyond the Bluetooth's reach and connectivity. You also probably have other frills like NFC tap to connect functionality, Google Assistant, Alexa voice support, among a few other of these features. So all of that is kind of missing on the SXFI Carrier as a modern new soundbar. But the upside is the SXFI Carrier is cheaper than all of these options. So as a single piece soundbar unit, this is one of the more capable products in the market right now. There's a few caveats though. One is, although we've seen that it is not very long, it's only 88 cm long, it's also one of the shorter ones in depth in its class at only 12.8 cm, right? Most of the competition it will go much longer, much deeper. However, the SXFI Carrier requires a little bit of height. Okay? It is 7.6 cm height, which means your TV has to clear the soundbar's height to ensure that you do not block the TV's IR blaster or block any subtitle text or thereabout. You need to check your TV's dimensions and its tabletop clearance to see whether this can fit in comfortably. Or perhaps you want to wall mount the SXFI Carrier, or if your TV is already wall mounted and your tabletop is cleared, then SXFI Carrier has no problems thereafter. To maximize SXFI Carrier's capabilities, it's best to have a more modern TV as well that supports HDMI EARC output. As far as enjoyability, sound performance, price, single bar unit delivering all of this, and of course not to forget, this is the only soundbar that has Super X5 headphone holography audio built in. Look out for our full-fledged review online as well for even more details.